Get
No,
you
not the big
distracted.
arch. Something else that I was thinking about. Um, for as much as we look back at the 90s as being a reflection of the culture, there's a lot that they
Yes.
kind of left on the table with what was going on in the late 90s on television and in the culture. Like
What do you?
For as big as Miss Cleo was,
Right.
there wasn't a wrestler with ESP.
That's true. I guess. What about Papa
And
Shango?
that could have been no, that
Did
was
he not?
Voodoo. He was Voodoo.
Okay, that's fair. Trying to think. I guess there has never been a call me now. Nothing like that, man.
Or even someone who thinks that they have ESP.
Has there not been? There's been some wrestlers that have like tarot cards and stuff like that. Does that count in the same
I
ballpark?
has there who I you're gonna have to remind me because I don't
Somebody.
know.
Wasn't that like Elena Black's gimmick at one point? Core Jade, she had like the tarot cards and stuff like that. And
I thought
then
she just had a box with
that's
some
true.
stuff in it. I don't
Maybe
know.
I'm
I
completely off on that too. I think there's someone out there that's done that specifically, like reading cards and stuff like that. But
well,
maybe not at a major level.
I could see someone doing the Samoa Joe spot where the nope when
Yes,
someone's doing a dive and they saw it coming.
but they didn't see it coming. Like visually, they didn't see it. They just saw
They
it.
did, but they yes, exactly. So they
All
keep
right.
thinking that they have some sort of
Mm.
ESP, like a Danhausen thing. Is Danhausen
Yes.
really cursing people, or do people just get unlucky after Danhausen says that they are cursed?
I mean, I've watched Danhausen for a long time. I think he's actually cursing people.
It could be. Who carries around teeth like that? Someone who's up to something. But
And
you could
Danhausen
have
is.
you could have this person see things coming, and then when they finally meet their much better and get totally destroyed, they realize that they don't actually have a superpower, but they realize what the real superpower is, which is friendship.
Friends we made along the way.
Exactly. Crowd favorite for, you could get a whole year out of that.
Yeah, I think so. What other things from the '90s could we make into gimmicks that has not been explored quite yet? Also,
Steroid
was
baseball player. That was really big in the
wait, what
90s.
was the name of the baseball player from like the '90s WWE? Abe Schwartz or
Knuckleball. Yeah.
Knuckleball? Abe
Abe
Schwartz, right?
Knuckleball Schwartz.
There we go.
He won on
Boom.
strike.
His son Schwartz Jr. He's coming back as the World Baseball Classic famed steroid abuser.
The now see now we need a coach that doesn't know what's going on, a coach that doesn't know the rules.
Yeah, that's fair. That is very true.
Yikes! See all these great things. We got to do a show where we talk about all the stuff that
What's
we haven't used yet.
Yeah, that would be an amazing show. There's always some things I tell people, I give people some of the ideas that have sat at the cutting room floor of a New Texas creative meeting, but it'd be fun to talk about some of those, with everybody else.
The cyclist,
Cyclist,
cha-ching, 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 going down
our
on the bicycle.
esteemed Deal or No Deal show.
Oh man.
Um, what else? I feel like we need Hendrickson on this one too to talk about all
Yeah.
these gimmicks that have made the cutting room floor, but didn't quite or hasn't quite got there. Hadn't been greenlit yet, but who knows when contenders comes back around? I mean, we anything's really on the table at this point.
Hey, like I said at the Clutch City Classic Series episode 1, the HPA is like USA and characters are welcome.
Right.
So you never know what you're going to see.
Anybody and everybody. Even if we upgrade from the HPA, I think that's still on the table anywhere that we go. So
Well, speaking of upgrades, Snakebite is on Sunday.
yes.
We return to the Baytown Community Center. Doors at 4, bell at 5. It's going to be live on YouTube and IWTV. And we got a pretty radical card.
What on this card is speaking to you? What do you want to talk about first? We talked about a few over the last couple of weeks, but big show this weekend. maybe the biggest on-card show we've had at the Baytown Community Center, maybe ever since we've run there. So I think there's a ton of good stuff on this card.
It's hard to ignore the gauntlet that Karaoke threw down on Chris Marcel this week.
Man, that that promo has caught fire. I think everybody and their mother has seen it on the Texas independent scene, and maybe further away than that at this point. It's definitely made that matchup probably the you know most interesting matchup on the card, at least right now. Um, and I know Lethal has got something in the works to return fire on that promo, but
Clap back.
clap back and it's I appreciate I remember we were talking about this with Ollie and LVJ. I appreciate people trying to sell fights. You know what I'm saying? And there's a certain art to doing a promo like that where you're essentially mocking your opponent in several different ways. And that's something that we kind of grew up with, maybe more so in the Attitude Era than as opposed to what you see right now. But ultimately, we want to get people interested in what we're doing. This match between Lethal Chris Marcel and Prince Karaoke Sunday at Snakebite and Baytown. And I think everybody involved with that. It was exactly, I think, what it needed to be in the sense of getting people talking about this particular matchup.
Prince Karaoke, he's become a mainstay at the Texas Contender Series. This is his first challenge for that championship. And this is the first time Chris Marcel is really outside the shadow of Jack Calloway, having put that to bed last Friday at the Clutcher 1. So we're going to see where Lethal Chris Marcel goes on from here. And it could be a short title reign. Prince Karaoke has anything to say about it.
I think that there's not many people in the Texas wrestling scene that can match the physical prowess that Lethal Chris Marcel has, but Prince Karaoke is a very tall and large man. So I think it might not be 1-on-1 in the sense of power, but I think that he can hang with Chris Marcel. I think that his athleticism will help him in this, as well as, again, just being genuinely have a big frame. He played basketball in high school. So he has an athletic background as well. So again, Lethal might not have the advantage that he normally does over some of these competitors in the ring because Karaoke is a big, strong athlete. And it definitely adds a lot of intrigue to this. Obviously, we're getting all the banter on the outside of this, but just the nuts and bolts of this particular wrestling match. Two guys I think that match up very well inside the ring.
And Karaoke, not a small boy. Did you see his scale this week? He's clocking in at 230.
230. That's
230.
heavyweight.
Can you believe that?
That is a heavyweight weight. There's a lot of guys that kind of say that they're at heavyweight weight, but kind of linger around that 200 to 205 pound range. But, once you get over 225, I mean, you're really, you got some size on you. That's not easy to move around, just speaking from experience. So once you get up to that 225, 230, I mean, you're carrying a lot of weight and muscle with you.
There's a lot of weight and muscle on this card. Kiefer Bartek, what match are you looking forward to?
Man, honestly, I think the one match that I'm looking forward to the most is the women's championship match. Um, we've had a long history of some of the very best women's matches in the state of Texas for the last 7.5 years. We've had incredible champions that have held that new Texas Pro Women's Championship. Bird Bixon being one of those incredible champions who's held that championship twice at two different spans of her career. Someone like Danny B, who I hold in very high esteem, who carried that championship with a lot of honor. And every time that she went out there, she had one hell of a matchup. It didn't really matter who we put her in the ring with. She had at least in the mention of a match of the night type of match every time. And incredible performances when she was new Texas Pro Women's Champion. Even someone like Zeta Steel, who has the Flash and now is on AEW, and now you're seeing her develop into a star as well. And of course, the most notable new Texas Pro Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez, who even back then in 2021, when she held the championship, was an incredible, one of the best women's wrestlers in the entire country at that time, especially from an unsigned perspective. And it didn't matter who we put her in the ring with, signed talent, up and coming talent, new girls, anybody that we put her in the ring with, she shined. So again, there's a lot of honor and prestige that comes with that new Texas Pro Women's Championship, in my opinion. I think that it is the top women's championship in the state of Texas. You have to be able to carry your weight. Speaking of weight, you got to be able to carry your weight as a champion, a New Texas Pro Women's Champion, or any of the champions, really. But of course, when I started New Texas Pro Wrestling, I wanted the women's division to be on par with the men's divisions that we have. So again, I'm really looking forward to this matchup because I know that this championship means a lot to Vert Vixen. Obviously, every time that she's held that championship, she kind of stakes claim to being the top women in the state of Texas. And Charity King has truly risen this last year, not only at New Texas Pro Wrestling, but across the entire country as a singles competitor. You know, we knew her when she came up with Danny as the King Bees. So she was more so a tag competitor when she first started New Texas Pro Wrestling. And so she's really broken out of her shell as a singles competitor this last year and has mixed it up with some of the best in the entire country. So this is going to be one of those matchups. I think it's just a recipe for to be in that category of all the great women's matches that we've had in New Texas Pro Wrestling. And I think that both of these girls know each other very well. Vert has always had Charity's number as well. Uh, so this gives an opportunity to Charity to finally get over that hump, not only to defeat Vert Vixen, someone that she seems like she has not been able to get over that hump and defeat her because of how great Vert Vixen has been in New Texas Pro Wrestling, but to also get over that hump to become a champion at New Texas Pro Wrestling, you know, something that's years and years in the making for Charity. Again, it has a recipe to be an incredible match. And again, whoever this women's champion is going to hold that title going into Vegas. So there's a lot at stake at this. There's a lot at stake, and I think both women are very up to the game to play what this match needs to be on Sunday.
Yeah, Vert Vixen definitely wants to take that championship back into Vegas where she won it last year. So she wants to get that 365-day title reign in, and Charity King, you know, Vert has been that one blemish on her record that she has not been able to make good. And these two have clashed in the past. And I know Charity has grown quite a bit since their last battle. And really excited to see what could happen there. Two volatile forces going to combine. Speaking of volatile forces, you don't know what I'm going to be saying there.
It could
It
be
could
anything.
be anything, but I want to talk about this Carter Black versus Killer Cash match.
Man, this is going to be fun, right? Carter Black and Killer Cash have been around. They've been around longer than I've been around, and I've been around quite a bit at this point in time. So, uh, actually, it was Killer Cash that was the one that said, "I really want to work. I really want to wrestle Carter Black." Uh, and you know, it's kind of one of those situations where the stars have to align and the match has to make sense. And I think at this point in time, in both of their careers at New Texas Pro Wrestling, this match makes a ton of sense, and it's going to be very volatile. I don't know what to expect with this match. Q's been maybe the most successful competitor we've ever had in New Texas Pro Wrestling. I mean, when you look at the greatest champions that we've ever had, or the greatest competitors we've had in New Texas Pro Wrestling, I mean, Carter Black has got to be at the very top of that list, bar none. Killer Cash, over these last couple of years, really since he came back into the fold, has really been on a warpath. I mean, he's attempted to light guys on fire. He's poured gasoline on men. He pulled a taser at the Clutch City Classic Series episode 1. He is the term volatile, and he's a monster of a man. You know, we were just talking about someone being on par with the size of someone like Lethal. Well, Carter Black is a very, very large man, very well built, and Cash is bigger than he is. Sheer mass, he is bigger than Carter Black. And at this point stage, Q uses a lot of his power in his offensive repertoire to win these matches. I mean, but Cash, he might not be able to get Cash up for a lot of his offense. So again, this just has again a recipe of like I don't know what this match could be. Honest to God, this it could be a thousand different things. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I think that they're both going to bring it because they've been on this. They've been doing this for a long time, 15 plus years. They have actually. I don't think they've ever had a singles match before, ever.
Get
So
out of town. No kidding.
yeah, I think they've maybe been in matches together, tags or battle royals, things like that. But I don't think they've ever had a singles match before. So I know they're going to bring it. I know it's going to be way different than anything else on the card, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It's like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. This is one of those fun matchups that we have on this card that we don't normally get at New Texas, and this one's just going to be. We'll see what happens.
From one fun matchup to another, a battle of martial artists, Ninja
Yes.
Mac and the Wind Dragon Dustin Wynn collide one on one. It seems inevitable that this was going to happen at some point.
How could it not? Again, you talk about two guys who have a great understanding of their martial arts. Um, Two guys who have really paved their own paths in professional wrestling through the Houston scene. That's maybe not as normal as you might expect it to be, but they both have had success. They're both big fan favorites. The crowd loves Ninja Mac. The crowd loves Dustin Wynn, and again, I really don't know what to expect from this matchup. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. I know the fans are going to win from this matchup, and I know these two have wanted to face each other as well. A lot of times, as a matchmaker, you kind of want to try to get guys who want to get in the ring with each other, and they know each other well, and they want to, make magic with each other, and like that goes a long ways when you're putting these matches together. And if you have a whole show of guys and girls who want to be in the ring with each other and want to put on a show, that's when things get truly special. And you're looking at this card as a competitor, as a wrestler, and you're saying like, there's a lot of good stuff on this card. Like I've got to really step up to try to steal this night. I've really got to step up to show that I'm the most important thing on this card. I'm the biggest thing on this card, and that our match is going to be the best match on this card. And Dustin and Ninja Mac have a real chance to be the most memorable thing on this entire card. And I think that they're going to go crush it. And I am super pumped about this match. What say you, Dan Miller, about this match coming up this Sunday?
Well, to echo a little bit about what you said, these are two guys who've really made their own way in professional wrestling. They took paths less traveled to get to where they are. Ninja Mac, he he made him. No one made Ninja Mac. Ninja Mac made himself, and he had a vision, and he went out and he did it, and he kicked ass, and you could almost bet, to steal a phrase from Mr. Ninja Mac, you could almost bet every couple of months you're going to see Ninja Mac on your feed doing something absolutely crazy and just making crowds scream. And Dustin Wynn, little bit younger, but he's paving his own way too. And seeing Mr. Wynn pop up on TNA and getting flown out to all of these different places across the United States, Pride style wrestling, and other places out west, and still here around Texas. He's another guy paving his own way, not your traditional type of professional wrestler. So to see these two who mentally have similar, visions for who they are, to go one on one with each other is going to be really interesting. I'm looking at this card, and every single one of these matches has the ability to steal the show, and I can't really point to which one who I think is going to take it. Last time we talked about Audacity, I hope, I was looking at that Jesse Funaki Timur the Great match, and I thought this has the real possibility to be the show stealer. And that's exactly what happened. Looking at this card, I mean, man, you got Carter Black, Killer Cash, you got Mac and Dustin, you got the main event, obviously, which we're going to get into in a little bit. And now this Chris Marcel karaoke match has a whole lot of steam behind it, going into animosity out of nowhere between these two. You just don't know. That Women's World Championship match, Vert Vixen, Charity King. I mean, any of these. And then we still have two big championship matches that we haven't talked about yet.
that we haven't even got into yet.
Let's talk about this Lone Star Championship match. I just mentioned Timur the Great. Three-way. Timur the Great, Jack Calloway, and a returning Rudy Garza. Triple threat. Timur the Great cannot get himself disqualified going into this
Cannot.
match. So to hold on to that championship, he is going to have to defeat either a very hungry Jack Calloway and an equally hungry returning Rudy Garza.
What did you think? I mean, the promo got released today from Rudy Garza. What is your take on what Rudy had to say regarding this matchup?
He misses his championship. I think he misses the prestige behind it. I think he's maybe Timur the Great takes it for granted. Who knows? Timur was a guy who saw that Lone Star Championship around the waist of Izzy James, and Timur was like, "That's a thing like a barbarian would, like a child would in a candy store. That's a thing I want, and I'm gonna take it." And, according to Rudy, he's not treating that championship with the respect and prestige that it deserves. And Rudy's back with a vengeance. Like he had said in that video, he's got a family now. He's fighting for something bigger than himself, and he wants to start back up where he left off.
I think, just pulling the curtain back just a tad bit, the Lone Star Championship is a very integral part of New Texas Pro Wrestling. And I think that since its creation, that we've always tried to find either someone that we believe is a workhorse or someone that we believe can develop into a world champion is going to hold that championship. Maybe both at the same time, you know what I'm saying? But really, that is what that Lone Star Championship truly it means. So anybody that holds that championship has some weight on their shoulders to carry some kind of legacy that has come before them of champions that I think we've done a really good job finding some really great men to hold that championship, in my opinion. And I think when Rudy held that championship, you had to look at him as a future world champion type of guy. And I'm not, and I think now he's even evolved to even a better version of that at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? He's a 2 years, 2 or 3 years, even further evolved from that person that held that championship. So again, I think that Rudy's really coming in this with a different mindset. And Timor has looked truly unstoppable, but I think and we haven't even talked about the third person in this match who literally even has maybe more than both of these guys, or at least in
Mm-hmm.
his mind, he feels that he has as much writing on this as those other two guys. But Rudy coming in here with this mindset can truly give him the opportunity to defeat Timor the Great and to win that Lone Star Championship and to get him back on that track to become potentially a future world champion here at New Texas Pro Wrestling. And I think that he sees that as his path. You know what I'm saying? I think that he sees that, him collecting the Lone Star Championship and then him going after the World Championship. I can see that in his mind of what he wants to do and his game plan to try to get to the top. Which I know that Rudy is always working to try to be at the top. I don't think he's okay being somewhere mixed in with everybody else. So I think that mindset could give him an opportunity to beat Timor, who again has looked literally unstoppable since he's won that championship. And Jack, he's kind of coming in the wild card in this whole situation. And uh, you know, you can say that it might have just been the numbers last Friday that caught up with Jack. That he was well on his way to potentially winning that Contender Series championship back from Lethal Chris Marcel, and perhaps too much of the Lethal Empire was involved in that matchup. And so I think that Jack truly has also potential to sneak in and steal this, just similar to how he did the Contender Series championship. Especially if those two don't pay attention to Jack, because again, he always does come in with a game plan. He always is scheming to try to elevate himself at New Texas Pro Wrestling. So again, this one, we're talking about matches that could potentially steal the show. I hope that this matchup is in that conversation. So next week when we do our power rankings of these top three matches, that this is in both of our top three matches for this card. And I think these three men can absolutely get to that point.
Yeah, me too. I mean, Jack Calloway, he's definitely earned this spot. Just going back to the first time that you and I met Jack Calloway, with he was coming in from Lions Pride, and he was like, I want to be on the Texas Contender Series. And to see his growth from where he was when he started to where he is now, it is a very clear trajectory from doing Contender Series to now he's all over Austin. Now he's starting to get all over Texas, and people know his name on top of
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
mean, there are people who, you know, go to a different city and they might wind up on a wrestling show, but people don't know their name by they're not easily recognizable. Uh, Jack Calloway, man, he's recognizable wherever he goes because wherever he goes, he makes an impact. And he's been doing a phenomenal job, especially this past year. Uh, During his entire campaign to become the TCS champion, as TCS champion, and now, I mean, 2026 could be really, really big for Jack Calloway.
I think these also you could make an argument. Obviously, there's a lot of people who feel this way, but I think these three guys, in their own ways, might be three of the hungriest guys in the entire state as well. So I think when you have those three guys who are really in their own ways, they
Mm-hmm.
work very hard at their craft. They work very hard in the gym. So again, you have three guys who are really stepping in very hungry and wanting to make a mark and to make this match tonight and then come out as a Lone Star champion. You know what's cool is that I hear a lot of people who come to New Texas Pro Wrestling say they want to become a Lone Star champion. You know, it's not just like I just want to be the guy. That I think that there is some prestige with the Lone Star Championship, and if you are able to carry that Lone Star Championship, you understand what it means, kind of what I talked about earlier. But and it's cool to hear guys come in and say, like, I want to hold this championship too. It's not just about the world championship or the top championship in the company, but this championship also has a lot of prestige and that is built into it because of the men that have held that championship prior.
And it's a really nice belt. I've always
It's
liked
really
that
cool.
belt. I
The
really
big
like that
silver.
belt. Yeah, it's a nice belt. Uh, from one championship match to another, tag team titles are on the line. The Dream Team defending against Toxic Tour. Big rematch. Big Baytown street fight.
Yeah, this one seems super like it's going to be absolutely chaos. I have no idea what this match is going to be, all over the arena, all over the venue. Again, these four guys have no love lost for each other. So again, I don't know what Casey's a crazy guy too. He was locked in a loony bin for a while. So I don't know what these guys are gonna do to each other. I hope that the audience is paying attention and steering clear when they come towards you, because this is going to be that match that you kind of have to be on your toes. Like, are they coming towards us? Like, let's move the hell out the way. Um, and street fights, they're personal. These two tags. I don't even know if we've ever even done a tag team street fight before at New Texas Pro Wrestling. But these four men, they can't stand each other even if they live with each other, and yeah, I'm excited about it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, different from a lot of the tags that we do. But that's what this show has, this kind of theme of like we're kind of like this is going to be a fun show, and it's going to be a lot of different moving elements that we usually don't see at New Texas shows. So this is going to be one of those tag team matchups that you might not see for a while after this. So this might be an only opportunity to see a tag team street fight. So um, I don't know. I don't even know who has the upper hand in this, because I think both teams are dangerous in their own ways.
The Dream Team, whether they like it or not, have become kind of artists in matches like this. From TLC to the Texas Tornado Shootout to TLC 2 to now this. I mean, the Dream Team, when it's time to kick ass and throw the rules out the window, they've been the go to. So it's hard not to favor the champions, but I mean, Toxic Tour, they're hungry to get those titles back, and we know that they could get vicious as well. I mean, Pac Ortega is really one of the more violent tag team competitors that there is, and along with, you never know what Prince Lee is going to bring to the table either. So
I mean, you saw what they did to Cat 5 on the
yeah,
Clutcher, so they look like they're in top shape to get those championships back.
yeah, and I know I was talking to Prince Lee not too long ago. Like, Prince Lee is getting in really good shape. He's spending a lot of time at the gym, And Pac Ortega, I could say the same thing too, but I was talking to Lee, and he's really dialed in right now. Lee's more dialed in than he's been in a very long time. So I'm expecting a lot out of this contest as well.
Yeah, no, same here. I think it's going to be one of those tag matches I think you'll remember for a long time.
We are getting Fallon Gray.
Yes,
Tell me a little
fresh
bit
off her
about.
WWE tryout.
That's very true. Tell me a little bit about Fallon.
She is definitely one of the top up and coming stars in the United States. She comes from Arizona, from what I understand. She also wrestles a lot at FSW in Vegas, as well as Dreamwave up in the Midwest. And she's kind of put herself into those, and she's just had her WWE tryout as well. So she's kind of put herself in line with a lot of the very new girls that are on the rise in the United States, and definitely one to keep your eye on. They haven't quite announced any of the WWE ID signings for the women. I don't. Again, I have no knowledge of this either, but I would not be surprised if she ends up being one of the women that does get ID'd. Because she's just been this rising star in the entire United States. She's getting everywhere. She's starting to wrestle all over the United States. So to be able to bring her into Texas, again, that's kind of one of our mottos at New Texas, or something that I've always prided myself on, is to try to find this talent across the entire country before they become these big stars. When we're able to get them in. Um, and to have them mix up with some of our best. And I think that Gray is going to be one of those women that we see here now that we might see on TV in a couple of years, whether that be whichever promotion that she could be involved with. So again, Rachel Rose has been. She's especially here in Houston. I feel like she maybe has been overlooked a little bit. So this might give her an opportunity to be seen once again, to maybe potentially get back into the title picture at New Texas Pro. And I know that she's behind the scenes. She's expressed her displeasure with not being on these shows that we've had here in Houston, because she is, one of the OGs of New Texas Pro Wrestling. She was actually on the very first show that we had in Colorado City in 2018. Uh, I feel like that voice is getting more and more louder, of her complaining about not getting what she feels that she deserves. This is an opportunity to show, like, all right, cool. We have one of the top rising stars in all of women's wrestling here coming to Houston to, square off against a two-time women's champion in Rachel Rose. So I'm super pumped about this matchup. I think it's going to be really good. I think that these two are coming in with something to prove, and I'm excited about it. Anytime that we get any talent from out of the state to come in to Texas, to mix it up with our people, I think that's really cool. And again, whether it is, Fallen Gray, or it's one called Manders, you wouldn't be surprised to see these people on TV in less than a year or two. That's kind of what we try to do when we try to bring people in.
Yeah, you've gotten a really good track record of picking talent from the national scene to bring on in. Fallon Gray, of course, like you said, just had her tryout, and from what I understand, from what I've seen of her online out of FSW, has just been. I think you might be right as far as possibly seeing her on television sometime soon. So, Rachel Rose, big opportunity for her, and show her really who's boss.
Yeah, I mean, when you come into Texas, Rachel Rose is going to be right up there with all the other great women that we have here in this state. And a win over her, I mean, that's going to put you right in a position to potentially challenge for the New Texas Pro Women's Championship.
Absolutely. So, there's one more thing left to talk about, I think. Unless there's something you want to
Wait,
talk about before we hit the main.
well, we had talked about we talked about this Ronan's revenge, right?
Oh, right.
And
Yes,
you
of course.
said
Yes, I
there that
did.
a fan might have 1% to defeat
1%.
Ronan Reyes.
Well, listen.
Well, I guess this fan is in that 1%. Is that what we're gathering from this? Kitty Hisatomi.
Listen. Ronan Reyes was set up by Sean Hendricks. Obviously. Sean Hendricks scouted that entire jam-packed HPA for the most fit and athletic person in the audience.
Will you stop? he chose
What?
a random
Was
person
okay, was
from
there
the.
a more in shape person in that audience?
Well, I didn't look at
No.
every single audience
No.
member, but I'm
I do.
sure
I
there's
see every
somebody in
camera
there.
angle. I have a vantage point of everyone that you can't see on the hard camera. I see everybody front row. I have to smell everyone sitting in front of me.
Well, it looks like, she was there with her family, and there looked like a family of athletes right next to her. So maybe she didn't choose, or maybe Hitters didn't choose the best athlete in the entire HPA sitting in the crowd. But either
Are you
way,
trying
I
to start a
mean,
fight between Kitty and her family? Maybe we
no,
could get that in the ring at the next
maybe so.
clutcher.
We'll see who the best wrestler is. Look, even so, you step in there with a pro wrestler. I mean, what's the odds that you're able to throw them around and suplex them around? I mean, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to her, but she's got to have some kind of amateur background to be able to run and race around like that.
Obviously, she was throwing suplex on Ronan Reyes. I mean, come on.
I was impressed. Were you impressed?
I was, of course, I was impressed because nobody saw that coming. Uh, John Hendricks, I believe that was a setup.
I don't think so.
I think that was a setup. He scouted the entire audience. We know our fans. No one could lay a finger on Ronan Reyes in the ring.
Well, I don't know about that. But
Maybe we'll have a Ronan Reyes revenge too.
maybe we will. Maybe we will. We'll see what happens with that. But you'll get a word with her at Snakebite, and maybe we'll figure out what's in her future coming up. So I'm excited about it. You'll get to interview the fan that was able to defeat Ronan Reyes. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Kitty Izatomi, she has a 1-year contract with the Texas Contender Series now. So we'll see, what the future comes of that. But we're going to get to hear from her for the first time this Sunday in Baytown.
Pumped about it. I'm excited. I'm glad we have a new addition to the Texas Contender Series roster. The best roster of up-and-coming talent in the entire state of Texas, bar none. And yeah, I'm excited to have a new addition.
Well, from a rookie to two veterans fighting for the richest prize in all of Texas. One called Manders defending the new Texas Pro World Championship against Izzy James, who won this opportunity last year at Texas Indie Showcase, now cashing in here at Snakebite. Looks like Izzy has the whole weight of the world on his shoulder, especially after this week. How do you think Izzy fares going in against one called Manders?
Well, first off, breaking news right here on the pod. We should have our brand new Texas Pro World Championship in by Sunday
Ooh.
for Snakebite. So whoever wins this matchup will be awarded the brand new Texas Pro World Championship. So that is another wrinkle on top of this matchup. Really, what I want to touch on, I mean, we saw it this week. It seemed like Izzy James went to the ER, and that's a pretty big thing when you have a championship match coming up this weekend. I don't really know. From understand, I've talked to him. His eye seems like it's okay, but still, you go to the ER. It's you have that stress and that worry in your body going into potentially the biggest match of his entire career, and it's I feel like it's got to play some kind of factor in it. Whether it's going to give him a little bit more motivation to get this W, on Sunday, or if it just might be in the back of his head with the issues that he has with his eyes going into this matchup. But Izzy James, I've known for a very long time. I think the first time I actually saw him wrestle was at an Inspire show in Austin, tagging with Jason Silver, who he just wrestled for at his memorial show up in Dallas. And Izzy has come such a long ways from that point in time, and truly has found his groove this last couple of years. Who I think that every time, we talked about every time people write Izzy off that, he comes back and he proves them wrong. But really, and to be at this point in his game and to be putting the best work that he's ever had into the ring, week in and week out. He's not one of those guys that just wrestles like once a month. Like this man is literally doing it every single weekend. A true classic road warrior of the independent wrestling scene. And I think that he has a lot to prove in this matchup in the sense of like this is the biggest prize in the state of Texas. When you hold the new Texas Pro World Championship, everyone knows you are the man in the state of Texas. Unquestionably, you've worked for it, you've grinded for it, you've earned that championship. We've had some incredible champions, and Izzy, if he's able to figure out one called Manders this Sunday, if he's able to get through, Cowboy way, uh, he would be up there with some of the all-time greatest wrestlers that we've had here in the state of Texas. And I think that this could be the crowning moment for Izzy James in his entire wrestling career. And in one hand we say that, in the other hand, one called Manders has truly flipped this state on its entire head. He has come in here and he's beat the who's who of Texas wrestling to hold that new Texas Pro World Championship. And then he's gone across seas where he is right now in Europe, and he's crushed it in Europe with some of the absolute very best in Germany, in the UK. I mean, he is literally, if we talk about someone who's on the best run of his career, Manders is on one of the best run of his career. And you can make the argument at this point in time that Manders he might have had the best year from an independent wrestler over this last calendar year from anybody. I mean, literally anybody in the entire world. You could say one called Manders is that guy in independent wrestling. And he's coming into Baytown in Houston, where Izzy is called home for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and in his home state of Texas that he's known his entire life, to defend that championship against a very hungry and motivated Izzy James. I mean, how much more do you need for a main event than that right there? This is going to be an epic main event that we have been working for. They've been working for many, many years. We have had this on the table since Izzy won that championship opportunity at Texas Indie Showcase last July. So this is going to be one hell of a main event. If there's one match that you want to see in March in the state of Texas, it's going to be one called Manders versus Izzy James in the main event at Snakebite in Baytown.
Well, we both know that anybody in the professional wrestling industry is a freak. Izzy James might be the freakiest. He got conjunctivitis, went to the ER. That very night he got home from the ER, he went and trained. He might be forgetting this whole ER illness situation completely. He might be looking straight past it. He might be looking right at gold as we speak. He one-track mind, total focus. We saw him in the gym today, looking in the best shape of his life.
This might be the best shape Izzy's ever been in his entire life. That man is absolutely jacked right now.
So when you have someone with so much momentum going into a show, the show's called Snakebite. This is Izzy's show. This is Izzy's chance. This is his opportunity to be crowned the best. He's been calling himself the best in Texas for 2 years now.
Yeah. No, he's had a right to claim that for the last couple of years because he has been at the very top of Texas wrestling. I think he is one of the absolutely top top independent wrestlers in the state of Texas, top independent wrestlers that is unsigned at this point in time in his career, or in 2026. So, I just know that Izzy's going to come in super motivated to win this championship.
But Izzy doesn't have a crew.
That's true.
He doesn't have backup. Manders always has backup. And we don't know what combination the Cowboy Way is going to be there on Sunday, but we know they're going to make their presence felt.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the wild card in all the Manders championship matches is Cowboy Way is going to be involved some way, somehow. We don't know exactly who's going to be there, how they're going to be there, how many of them are going to be there. But you got to imagine that Izzy's going to come with a game plan no matter who shows up.
Well, that's going to be live on YouTube and IWTV Sunday. This Sunday in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. I believe. Am I looking at this time?
3:30. Doors open at 3.
Kickoff. Doors at
3:30. Matches start at 3:30. Main show starts at 4. Should have a couple of matches on the kickoff. We will have 7 planned matches on the main show. It starts at 4. So, Come, have a great time, get rowdy. Bring your friends, bring your family, bring your exes, bring everybody you know. And we're gonna have a great show on Sunday. It's gonna be, hopefully show of the year. That's the game plan.
You're going to have a great afternoon of pro wrestling, whether you're in Baytown or watching live. Looking forward just a little bit.
Yes.
Are you ready for? I don't think you're ready. Are you ready for April? This could be the busiest
Yes.
month
Maybe
I think we've ever
ever.
had. Potentially.
Yeah, I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be. I've really been laser focused on Snakebite this week. I kind of get into like show week. I just get like super duper,
Mhm.
just like tunnel vision on the show that's happening this week. I got to start looking ahead. We have Clutch City Classic Series Episode 2 on 4/3. Then we've got the Texas A Tournament on 4/5 in Austin, and then we got Vegas on 4/16. And we might have a couple of other things happening in that month as well that you might just have to stay tuned to in case these things pop off. So yeah, I'm as ready as I'll ever be, man. I'm ready to get back in the groove of things. I truly did miss doing these shows almost every single week. Um, it almost felt like when we did the Clutch City that it was like, oh, like, you know, this is we're out of practice. We're a little rusty. There's certain it took us a little bit of time to get things pretty much up until bell time, or up until
Yeah.
doors open. We were still working to try to get things ready for the show. So Baytown, we haven't run in a few months. But I know this is going to be a great show. I know the fans are truly going to love it. And April, May, June, July. I mean, it's only going to get better and better the rest of the year. Like we're really going to take off. This is going to be truly an incredible year in all facets of New Texas Pro Wrestling in Houston and Austin, around the state, around the country. Um, we got a lot of fun stuff planned, man. We got a lot of cool things that are coming down the pipeline that we've been working on for a while. And when we're able to share it, we're able to share it. But just stay with us, and we promise you this is going to be a great year for New Texas. Great
Yeah,
year for you guys.
we got a jam-packed calendar coming up, and I don't know when I'm going to have any free time, but that's okay. That's okay.
We're not jacking the prices up to the moon. You know what I'm saying? We're
No.
keeping these reasonable. We want you guys to be at these shows. And if you can't make it to the shows, we don't expect you guys to be every single show that we run. But guess what? You can watch for free on YouTube, and you can still join us for all the fun, all the action. That's what we want. We want you guys to be in tune with a great pro wrestling promotion that is going to put their heart and soul into every single show that they put on. And you guys can come with us. You guys can be with us the entire way. And that's what we want. We want this to be easily accessible for everybody. We want you guys to come out. We want you guys to have a great time, whether in Austin or Houston or wherever. That's really what we've set ourselves up for.
If you can't be at the show, you can just super chat us.
That's true.
Come on, you're watching the show for free.
Well, you can super chat here right now that you appreciate this New Texas Pro podcast episode 5. At this point, I don't know what we're at this point. 5, maybe. You know, any opportunities that you guys have to help us out, to help us continue to move this great ship where it needs to be, to help guys get signed, to make it to the next level. We appreciate all the help and all the support. Seriously, like genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I can't say enough about how much we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. You guys understand this?
Well, you bring that up, and we have a little bit of time left, so I kind of want to pick your
Yeah.
brain about something.
Okay.
We were discussing earlier, Fallen Grade. She had her tryout. A couple people got ID'd this week, and you really have like a scout's eye. So I feel like when Roxanne Perez got picked up, that was the right time for her. Like there was really nothing else for her to do. It was the logical next step. The timing was right for all of that. Sometimes you see people and are like, man, this should have happened to them a year ago, 2 years ago. You see some other people get the nod. You're like, man, that was kind of surprising. I really haven't seen them around too much. How important is timing, and how do you know when someone is ready to make that next step?
Um, I think as far as being picked up at the next level, timing is almost everything because you have to just be at the right place at the right time. You have to be what they're looking for at that particular time. But obviously, there's a ton of things that you can do to get yourself ready to be seen, and when you get those opportunities to be ready to be looked at seriously. I think that obviously, I think the number one thing that I've seen most recently from the people that have been signed, especially from WWE, but even AEW, they have an incredibly in shape roster. But I think that people have truly dedicated time to get themselves into uh, the shape of an athlete, to look like an athlete, and to set themselves up apart from the field. You know what I'm saying? I think that that helps you stand out in a room full of usually a lot of good athletes or a lot of good professional wrestlers. And I think that they really are, especially WWE, is really focusing on that at this point in time. They want to, I promise you, they want to find wrestlers, but they want to find wrestlers who are in shape, and they want to find wrestlers who are truly dedicated to try to get their body into the best shape it can be. They don't want to have to sit there and beg anybody to try to get into shape when they sign them down in the PC. I think that they want individuals who have that mindset that uh that I'm going to be in the best shape that I can possibly be in. And like a lot of times we're kind of limited in what we're able to do here. We all have usually full-time jobs. Um and we financially we're really stressed about other things. We can't literally have our diet tuned into to the T like a lot of the athletes that are on television at that point in time. But honestly, if you're able to do it doing all of this, then that lets them know that they can trust you to do it when you're signed to that, like, and to take it to the next level, to be able to elevate your diet and everything. For me, using Roxanne as an example, I think that one thing that really is Roxanne's superpower is that she was truly adaptable in the sense of every time that she was given some kind of feedback or critique, she was able to fix it and not make that mistake twice. And so, doing that for 2 or 3 years, she truly came at the point where she would come find me and she would say, "What can I work on?" And a lot of times I wouldn't have anything off the top of my head. And I think that shows just who she is as a person. Like she has that determination inside of her that she wants to be the absolute best. And she's willing to take that critique. She really doesn't have an ego as far as that's concerned. She really just wants to get better. And I think that's truly a you have to have that inside of you to truly make it at the next level, not just make it to the next level, make it at the next level. Because I know when she got there, she was still doing the same thing that she was doing with me for all those years here in the independents, and she was trying to figure out, pick people's brains, like, how do I get better? What can I do to get better? What can not just saying like, I'm good, I'm already good. You guys should learn from me. I'm already good. She wanted to learn, you know what I'm saying? And I think having that mindset that you're continuously working on your craft, continuously wanting to learn, wanting to get better, and like doing it. Like there's a lot of people that I've come across with that will ask me questions. Well, what, and I'll say the same things over and over and over again. And they're not applying anything that I'm saying. I'm literally just saying the same things over and over for years. And it's like she applied the things that we had asked her to do, and then she would do it. And I think that that's a disconnect or something with a lot of wrestlers. I don't want to say everybody, but there's a lot of like they'll ask for feedback or critiques, but then they won't apply it or they won't work on it, or maybe they're just not able to do it. Maybe like financially, it's not something they can do or whatever. But I think that helps. I think that can help them. I think that having that mindset can help you be ready for the next level. I don't know him personally. We might have crossed paths a couple of times, but someone like Jimmy House, is all accounts, he's a great guy. He seems like he's willing to learn and want to get better, and he's in great shape. And they signed him. He had a great WWE tryout, from what I understand. But all three of those things go a long ways. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn, you want to get better, you want to be in great shape. Being a great guy to be around, being a locker room guy is what we used to call it in sports. You want to be a good locker room guy so that, people want you around. They want to work with you. They want to help you get better. Um, all that stuff goes a long ways. And again, congratulations to Jimmy. It's a very big step in his young career. And if I don't want to ramble too long, because I could talk about these things forever and ever. But if those are the things that WWE is looking for, look at someone like Jimmy, and he exemplifies all these things that is is what they are looking for, and is what independent wrestlers should strive to be if they want to be at that next level.
I agree. It's a total mind, body, and soul thing. You have to have your mind right. Like you were saying before, how Roxanne came into WWE and was like, "All right, I'm going to keep learning and keep getting better." There was a clip that Bailey had posted today that when you come in, it's you might be at the top of the indies, but you have to realize that once you step up another level, you're right back to the bottom of the food chain, and you're gonna have to. That's something you're gonna have to deal with. And if you could adapt to that and be like, all right, now here's another challenge. Be excited for the challenge.
Yeah.
Be excited to overcome hurdles because it's not it's the journey, not the destination. So yeah, mind, body, and soul. To have your mind right, have your body right, and have that fire and passion to get you through those tough times. Because man, this industry is going to throw you nonsense that
Yeah.
that you are not expecting,
And
and you're gonna have to deal with that stuff, whether you
and
deserve it
uh
or not.
and I had a conversation with Roxanne when she got signed. She was going to WWE. I said, "No, well, now the work actually starts. Like now the work starts. Not saying that what we do on the independence is not important. It's not work, but like once you get to the next level, and every step of that, the problems change. You don't just get signed and everything is better. Now there's the stakes are even higher because now this is your job, and you have to work for yourself. You have to work for your position inside the company. Like now the stakes are higher. Like it doesn't get easier. You have to actually work once you get there. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're a top independent guy, or you come from another company and you go to the WWE, that doesn't mean that you deserve anything. Like you have to work harder once you get there. And so like it is super important to understand that. I think that everyone looks at that, getting a contract as the destination. I'm saying, well, I got a contract and like that. Well, like this is when the work starts. The problems change. I could promise you that Roxanne did not have an easy time in developmental the entire time. Like I know that there was ups and downs throughout her time there as well. And even now that she's on the main roster, it doesn't get easier. The problems change. She has to work even harder to get where she wants to be. And I know that she is working as hard as she could possibly be to get where she wants to be at. So, yeah, man, again, if you're here on the independence and you think like, the contract is the destination, it's not, man. That's when things get hard, and that's when you got to work hard. And I think that's why WWE knows like there's certain people that they're looking for, that they know that when they get called up, that they're going to be ready for these challenges, and not have an attitude, or not feel some type of way about it. And yeah, I think that Roxanne has done a tremendous job. Obviously, she's such you know, a shining example of what you can be in the independent wrestling business, and then go and make it at the next level. And I'm hoping that there's more people that are involved with this ID program that can do it as well. And I'm hoping that there's people, who are here in Texas that are even with AEW, someone like Maya World that is put her foot into the door at AEW, at Ring of Honor. I know she's got that shot against Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, and she's someone else that I think has a lot of potential and could potentially make it to the very top of AEW. So, um, a lot of good examples that are here around Texas that have made it to the next level, and they all kind of have these same qualities. I'm gonna be honest with you; they all want to be great, and they all work hard, and they're all good people, and you know there's a lot of people around the states you could talk to, and pick their brains and see how those people got there. And then you honestly have to work harder than those people, because you have to be better than those people because they're already there, and you have to be better than the people who are already there.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who excelled their career by saying, "All right, I finally made it. I'm going to kick my feet up and relax." I mean, even when you get to the tippy top WrestleMania main event, I mean, how long did it take CM Punk to get to where he's at? An entire career.
Yeah.
So you're never there. And this is a line of work that's never truly mastered. There's been maybe like three people who have mastered professional wrestling in the history of professional wrestling, as far as I see it. So,
And they probably even have like, oh well, I probably could have been better here or done
oh,
this and done
sure.
that. Like they in their own heads, they probably could. They thought they could have done more
Mhm.
because that's the type of people that make it to the top.
So, hopefully, we're going to be seeing over a dozen athletes this Sunday who are going to make it to that next level and who are going to make it to the top because, boy, have we got a stack card for Sunday.
That's my dream. I think that I would love. I've got this brand new apartment, and I'm excited to put some posters up that I have had made, and that over the years of New Texas Pro Wrestling. But I would love for there to be shows that we're looking back in 4 or 5 years. We're like, man, remember when we had 8 to 10 people on this one show, and they all ended up making it to the next level. Like, how cool is that, man? That's amazing. That's my dream. Like, honestly, I'd love to look back at New Texas shows and look at all of the talent that's been signed. I mean, I don't even know how many people we've had that have been on our shows that have been signed at this point in time. It could be getting close to like 50, 60, 70. I really don't know. It could be 100. I really don't know. But like, we've had some incredible talent come through New Texas Pro Wrestling and wrestle in that New Texas Pro Wrestling ring. And I know no matter what happens with New Texas, I'm always going to be proud to see all the people that came through before they were somebody that was able to showcase their abilities inside of New Texas Pro Ring.
Well, I think we're going to be looking back at this show in the future as something really special, but you can experience that for yourself in Baytown on Sunday or live on IWTV or YouTube. So I hope everybody is able to join us this Sunday. I know in Texas it's a jam-packed wrestling weekend, but man, if I were to do a power ranking of everything that was going on around the state, around the country even, we're
Snakebite, number
right at
one.
top. And, hopefully by next week, I'll have some very special news for everybody in regards to professional independent wrestling across the world and the United
I
States.
hear it
If you're,
could be a real game changer.
I certainly
Change
hope so.
everything.
And if you're in the house this Sunday, you're going to hear it first. And maybe for you folks on Patreon, I'll let you in on a little something earlier too. But Kiefer Bartek, got anything else left to say?
No, not really, man. I just hope you guys are able to make it out. If you just hit me up, I would just love for you guys to be there. That's truly what I want.
All right, so episode 5 in the books, New Texas Pro Wrestling Podcast. We'll see you next week with our power rankings, and stay locked in. Until next time.